Good morning, everyone. We'll start on the next topic of branch and bound. Using branch and bound, how do we solve network problem? And there are two approaches as given part of the syllabus. Am I audible, please? Hello?
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
Okay, thank you. So we'll look at the this material is from the book by Horowitz Sani, and as part of syllabus, they talked about two approaches. One is called least cost branch and bound, and other is FIFO branch and bound. So we'll discuss that. Primarily, very rarely use FIFO branch and bound, but we'll discuss as part of the syllabus. So primary material is from Horowitz Sani, section 8.2. There is a description by Levitin, 12.2, with a little different approach. So what we've taken for 12.2 is what we discussed in last lecture, that is TSP problem and job assignment, and this is from Horowitz Sani primarily. So if you look at, we have been building a state space tree, and what we have been saying that we explore, and rather than doing depth first search or depth first search, we look at the best node. So typical algorithm for a state space tree is this is called BV search or branch and bound search. You are given a tree with tree T with root node at T with root at T. So how do you do a state space search? So if you are already at the leaf node, that answer node, you are done, return. If not, make this root as the E node, the node to explore, and initialize your list of live nodes to empty. Because we're starting from a root, my list of live nodes would be empty, and this is already E node. Now we look at for each child of x, each child of x meaning whatever the value we can take, like whether if we're doing a knapsack problem, can we include weight 1 or not? We don't include weight. Or if we're doing a job assignment, can we take what the job person 1 can take, job 1, job 2, job 3, the n queens problem, where does the queen move? So we have 8 possible. So for each child of the exploration node, if we reach a leaf answer node, we are done. And then from root to this node, so essentially this is my root, I'm exploring, while exploring I come to the end. So basically display the path from this node till the root and return. I know my exploration is over because I reach a leaf node. If not, if there's not a leaf node, then add to the live list and set the parent. Parent will help me tracing the path back to the root and continue this loop. If my list becomes empty, that means there is no answer node, I cannot explore, and I'm done. And then pick the next node. So if this is over, then look at next node in the live list because I'm keep building the list. And how does the branch and bound works is primarily determined by how do I pick my next node from the live list. And we have three approaches we look at. One is called the FIFO, first in, first out. That means my list, the list of live nodes is basically a queue. I put elements into the queue and keep adding and then remove from the queue. So this is called first in, first out. And if you do that first in, first out, you'll basically look this kind of act like a DFS because if this is my root, let's say my root is T, I have three nodes to explore. Node 1, node 2, node 3. So my list would be node 1, node 2, node 3. And then when I explore 1, I take the first node. Let's say this children has 4 and 5. I add 4 and 5. Then I pick next node and then continue from there. So this is, we basically look what we are doing. The first level, then look at second level, third level, and this is what is called FIFO, essentially is what we call is breadth first search. Other is depth first search. That means like what we do, if we start from root, you start from, let's say, root t, that's the number of children. You will explore this, then explore this, explore this. What we typically done in backtracking approach, and that is what basically my LIFO is. And other is what we call is least cost. When my list I maintain is a heap, so always find the main element, and then we use that, and we'll basically, when we look at least cost BB, that means my list is basically a heap. I always take the minimum cost node from the list. If I do least cost FIFO, that there are two things we look at to solving knapsack problem of today. As an example, if you look at, we discussed this job assignment problem in our last lecture. So if I need to do FIFO exploration, I start from here, and then I explore this, then I explore this, then I explore this, then I explore this, then I explore there will be children for this, then I explore children of 1, then I explore 5, 6, and this is basically what would happen. And if it is LIFO, that means I'll start from here, I'll explore this, explore children of this, explore further children of that, and then backtrack, and this is what the LIFO is. But today we'll discuss what is called least cost search. So primarily, the algorithm remain the same. This path, where is the next node, we determine how to choose the next node, and that is primarily what we call is least cost search nested space tree. This is what we had done when we did the job assignment. This is what we did when we did traveling salesman person, which is the next node can give me lowest upper bound, and continue with that. So if we look at in both the cases, whether we did TSP problem or whether we did job assignment, when we did branch and bound, we are always looking at least cost. Least cost tour, least cost job assignment. Majority of time the branch and bound we use what we call is minimization problem, finding the minimization. And as we said, if list of live nodes, if we implement a heap and pick the least node to explore, and other nodes in the queue will remain there till we reach a leaf, but we are done with it. So how do we basically implement a bound? Given a tree, how do you figure out which is the least cost? Now let's say we know we have a tree, rooted a T node, and then we have a number of nodes, and we're trying to look at the cost. And we're saying Cx be the cost of this tree for whichever my least answer node is. This is the least answer node. So Cx is the cost with the tree which is rooted at x. If this is my tree, my least cost is denoted by Cx. And my objective is to find this cost Cx. Now, how do I find this cost? What to determine? So generally, because we're trying to find some optimization functions or objective functions, like in TSP we say min cost tool. In job assignment we are saying the minimum cost of all the jobs. So typically we assign Cx to be equal to the objective function, and that is what we want to use as a bound. That's what you should be using, and this is what is in the example in TSP min cost, or in job assignment minimum cost there. Now we need to find this, and so how do we keep this as a node? And this we can find, we know if we can explore the whole dynamic tree approach, backtracking we can find, but then that becomes my exponential cost. Because I need to figure out, computing means if I need to find, let's say for this tree minimum cost, I need to explore all this. And if I need to explore the entire tree, that becomes exponential, and that is not really then going to help me because my cost is exponential. And what is branch and bound? We're trying to say, can you do much better rather than doing exponential? Can you improve upon it a lot? And that means I cannot work with the actual cost Cx as my bound. I need to do something. Can you do close and say, can we estimate what Cx is? some value of estimate and we proceed with that. The only constraint is that my Cx, whatever heuristic I take, some value, and say that we'll use this heuristic value which can be easily computable by whatever logic we use, and this heuristic should be less than actual cost. Because if we are picking the least cost, let's say if I have a tree and I'm estimating Cx, C hat x, and this happens to be more than the greater than my actual cost, then I may end up picking this, and that means I will not find the real minimum cost solution. So only constraint which I need to put on my heuristic is that this has to be less than the actual cost, whatever we do. Otherwise, we'll end up exploring a node and we'll see a cost more than this and defeat the purpose, because then we will not find the minimum. And then we take this as an example, as a heuristic. We apply this heuristic for traveling salesperson problem and see how we can use it to determine the maximum benefit profit for our knapsack problem. So typically we'll define a heuristic and which will define a lower bound, what we can do, and we are always saying this heuristic should be less than the actual cost. And how do we estimate that? We'll look at. Further, we want to explore only those nodes for which this Cx is the minimum. So if I have a tree and I have a number of nodes, and this is, let's say, C hat for this, C hat for this, I need to find whichever is minimum. So I need to maintain some kind of a value which I call upper, which says which is my current upper bound. That means current lowest bound which I not exceed. So anytime if I find a Cx which is greater than this upper, if any of this Cx is greater than this upper, that means I already found a solution with this lower bound, and this exploring this path will give me a cost more than upper, so I don't have to explore. So what we need to compute and maintain the two things. For each node, we compute the heuristic Cx, and tree wise, we basically maintain an upper, and you find out for each node by exploring that how much upper I can reach. And if any node basically becomes upper than upper, that means that minimum cost from that node will be more than the lowest I found, so I can ignore those nodes and don't have to explore, and I can kill those nodes. And we see this with an example when we build our knapsack problem there. So the constraint we'll follow is the Cx should be this thing, the estimated Cx should be less than this, and upper is basically as long as this is the case, because the moment C hat x becomes greater, we'll basically remove that. Initial value upper could be anything, and we'll deal with it. So the moment we find this case, we can basically kill those nodes, because if Cx becomes upper, so we need to make sure that every time we follow upper is C hat x. So anytime we meet this condition, we'll basically kill that node, and this what will take approach we would basically be taking. What's the initial value? Either we can compute this value for the root node, or we can start with infinity and keep lowering it. Either way, it would work fine. And as we said, for any live node, if this becomes greater than actual, we can simply ignore this, and that's what we should be fine. So let's consider knapsack problem. We know what a knapsack problem is. Knapsack problem is given n nodes, each of weight, given weight. So n nodes, weights are W1, W2, W3 to Wn. So we have n weights, and each node, each weight has a value, each item has a value 1, value 2, value 3, and knapsack is a bag whose capacity is n. Objective is to fill the knapsack with items such that the knapsack capacity doesn't exceed m. That means the items remain within the capacity m, and I get maximum value of the items which I pick up. It's something like I am, let's say, traveling in an airline, and I have limited capacity of my suitcase which I can carry in, So let's say limit is 15 kg. So I want to make sure I keep those items which give me maximum value of my bag in suitcase, because if I take lesser value, then I'll be paying lesser price. So problem on knapsack is given n items, each of with given weights W1 to Wn, and each item we are given the value. We are given the value V1 to, and knapsack has a capacity of M, knapsack capacity N. Objective is find those items such that they fit into the knapsack. That means the total weight doesn't exceed M, but I get maximum the value. So mathematically, if I need to write, I'm basically saying maximize the value of knapsack and the within the capacity of M. So if you need to write, mathematically we come with the expression maximize that, and we call this 0-1 knapsack, meaning either we take item in full or we don't take item at all. It's something like, let's say if I'm filling my suitcase to travel, and I cannot, my cloth, I have to keep the whole cloth, I don't take the cloth. I cannot cut the cloth into half or cut my cloth into 1/3 and then carry, because that has no meaning. So either I pick the whole item or I don't pick the item, and that's the meaning of 0-1 knapsack problem. And we'll look at branch and bound, and we say, so my knapsack problem basically we said is maximize the value subject to that the weights are within the capacity. Now we've seen that branch and bound, we always minimize the cost, but this knapsack is a maximization problem. So how do I convert my maximization problem into minimization problem? Because we know that we can solve a minimization problem using branch and bound. So look, how do I solve this? Convert this maximization problem to minimization. So if I were to convert each Vi into, let's say, minus Vi, if I convert each Vi into minus Vi and treat as a cost, Xi is always 0 or 1, means either I pick an item or don't pick an item, and I convert this into this. So whenever it is maximum, minus sigma Vi Xi is going to be minimum. So whenever we are looking at the maximization problem, if I take the negative of this, and so whenever this is maximum, this is going to be minimum. So if I were to take my cost as minus sigma Vi Xi, so basically my problem becomes, in the minimization case, minimize sigma Vi Xi with minus, subject to the constraint that my sum of weight is less than M. And so now that I have a minimization problem, look at, my numbers are negative now. Now that I have minimization problem, I can apply my branch and bound technique to solve this problem. And that essentially what we're going to do, use branch and bound to solve minimization problem. So how do we look at, and we explore the tree, and we'll use what is called least cost. That means keep exploring from root, pick up the least cost node and explore, and we start with basic example. So our challenge is, how do we pick up our what is called the estimated or heuristic cost? Now we know that when you build a tree, we start from first item, and my choice is either I pick the item or I don't pick the item. Then I look at second level, X2, either I pick the item or I don't pick the item. There are only two choices, and keep going that. So if there are n items in the knapsack, I'll be going n level D. And each level, I make a decision, either pick the item or don't pick the item, and that is how my state space tree works for knapsack. Because each place I have a choice, each item either include or exclude. That's what I do. And then we look at, and we also seen that some of subset problem, you can also do variable tuple size. So when I look at the knapsack, let's say my items are N1, N2, sorry, not N1. Let's say my items are I1, I2 up to, let's say, IN, and my choice is, let's say I am able to pick this item, I don't pick this item, I don't pick this item, but I pick this item and this item. So my Xi's are X1 is 1, X2 is 0, X3 is 0, X4 is 1, and so on and so forth. And these are the value of my Xi's. Now I can look at that when it's a variable tuple size, look at this tuple. This tuple, my size is always n, is a fixed size n. If I want to make variable size, basically get the index of those items which I'm picking up. So if I look at only this fellow index is 1, this item index is 4, this item index is 5. So whichever items I'm picking, I'll only keep those indexes, and that becomes what is called variable tuple size. Now this variable tuple size I can always do from the fixed tuple size. So we will not look into solving this problem. We will look at only doing fixed tuple size, where we look at each item xi, whether it's 0 or 1, something of that kind. Now we need, as you said, we need to define cost per node. We also need to define what is the upper bound, that what is the maximum value we can reach from there, and that's what we look at. So this is my actual cost, which we want to answer, but computing this is certainly requires expression whole tree, which we cannot do, and that means we need to basically estimate this. How do I estimate my CX, build a heuristic, and let's look at define something. Consider a problem of 4 nodes. So given that I have 4 nodes, knapsack capacity is 15, and the values are this, and the respective weights are, these are my weights. So given this problem, how do we use least cost branch and bound to solve the knapsack problem? So first we need to do, because we are looking at the bound, as before, we sort them as per their profit to weight ratio. So 10 by 2 is 5, 10 by 4 is 2.5, 12 by 6 is 2, 18 by 9. So we arrange them in the what is called non-increasing order. That is what we'll basically arrange them, and we'll use that approach. Since we have 4 tuple variables, my tree will go up to 4 level deep. That will explore, and each level correspond to variable. So first level would be x1, second level variable x2, third x3, and fourth x4. We explore those, and we need to compute again. We said we cannot actually compute CX, because if you know, we know the answer. So we need to compute our heuristic. We maintain tree-wise the lowest upper bound, and what is the upper bound for a given node we can reach. And anytime we find that our estimate is more than, anytime we find estimate we make is greater than upper, that means we don't have to explore that node, and we can discard that node. And that's what we'll proceed using that. So let's look at how do I define my estimated value of CX. So we already done the sorting, so if not, we sort that out. Now we define CX as something like this. Now that we already sorted them as per this order, so we would say keep including items from beginning, include item 1, item 2, up to item k, till we reach an item which exceeds my knapsack weight. And remember, all these items are sorted as per in the profit or value per the weight ratio. So that means I'm always picking the right items. And once I reach an item which cannot be put completely because its weight exceeds more, that means W1 plus W2 plus WK minus 1 is less than M. But the moment I include WK, when I'm looking at the kth weight, my knapsack capacity exceeds. So that means my maximum values I can get is whatever partial weight I can do. And I include that value to use my estimated CX, because that's what basically I would get. So use my CX, including the partial value of the last item, which cannot be included in full. I know that I cannot include the last item because it exceeds the weight, but at least that gives me my estimated cost, which I can achieve if I follow that path. I cannot achieve the less than that, and that is what will basically follow. But upper bound, what is that we are achieving by using this node? Since we can't include the last item, we can't include that item. So only difference between Cx and Ux is include all the items value, excluding the last parcel value. And thus we will have Cx less than this and less than the value. This is the relationship we follow. And anytime you evaluate that, we are going to break it out. Now remember on the last item, all we are doing is minimization problem. Minimization problem means we are minimizing sigma vi xi 1 is less than equal to I is less than equal to n. We are doing minimization, and for the last item we are including partial value. So if I remove the partial value from negative, that means the new value is more. So we'll always make sure that Cx what you compute for a node and Ux will compute for a given node. Cx would always be less than equal to the Ux. That will happen, and then we see we maintain upper node, and that's what will continue. We explore with an example and work it out and see things up. So let's look at our example there. So this is the case, we already sorted them as per their probability to weight ratio. Now we start with the root. Our capacity given is 15, 4 items. Start with root now. That means root means no item. So what is my Cx would be? If we look at my Cx means estimated Cx, start including item from beginning till I reach the capacity. So first item is weight 2, weight 4, this becomes 16, 6 plus 6 becomes 12, and then if I include 9, it becomes 21. That means this item cannot be included. So what is my Cx would be? Full value for this, which is 10, full value for this, which is 10, full, because 6 is included, full value for this, which is 12, and look how much weight I have already included up to weight 12. I'm left with weight of 3. So look at the partial value for this node with a weight of 3. That means this would be 3 by 9 into 18, which is basically 6. And 6 meaning becomes 6. So this value becomes 38. And since we are looking at the minimization, everything becomes negative. So value I get is minus 38. And that is my Cx would be for the root node. So if we look at root node, as I said, first 3 nodes contribute fully, last exceed the capacity. So I estimate first 3 nodes in full, and last node I take partial weight, because these 3 nodes gives me a weight of, this is weight 2, this is weight 4, this is weight 6, this already gave me a weight of 12, my capacity is 15, so 15 minus 12 is the partial weight I need to include for 4th item, and for the 4th item I take appropriate value, because for the weight 9 value is 18, that means for weight 3 value would be 3 by 9 into 18, which is 6, so I get 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 6, which gives me 38, and since we are doing a minus, I get minus 38. This is my C hat X, or what we call estimated cost. What is my Ux, upper bound? In upper bound we say we do not include the value of the node which is not included. So we exclude this part. When I exclude this part, my value becomes 10 plus 10 plus 12 with a minus sign, which is minus 32. And this is my Ux, this is what I get. So for my first node, and this is the first time I'm doing it, I'll set my upper also 32, because initially whatever it is, this is the lower than earlier value. So if I start with upper as an infinity, this is the lowest I got, so my upper is minus 32. That means tree wise, this is the upper bound on the cost. I can reduce the cost, but certainly if I follow this approach, I cannot do less than that as of now. And as we explore the nodes, if this value decreases, we'll follow that. But I know currently without exploring this, the upper node, I can maximum upper limit on my cost. It can go down but not go up because it is negative value. And now we know that my C hat is minus 38, my upper is minus 32, so minus 38 is less than minus 32. So this is a live node we explore, and we continue and we explore that. So we add this to live node, and this is my only live node. So explore the two children. Now two children is, I include either the item 1 or I exclude the item 1. If I include item 1, my x1 is equal to 1, and this becomes node 2. If I exclude item 1, this becomes node 3. And let's look at what is the value of C hat x for node 2, C hat x for node 3, and similarly ux for this and ux for this. We look at both of these and then we explore how do you go about it. Now look at this, basically means this node is included. So if a node is included, remember, as long as I traverse on left, that means items are included. This is included. Now I need to look at so I already have a weight of 2, plus I include next item which is weight of 4. This becomes weight 6. Next item, sorry, no, this 2 is already included. Next item is 4, weight 6. Next item is 6, so my weight becomes 12. And next item weight is 9. I cannot include this because weight becomes 21. So difference, my capacity is 15. That means I should take only 3 part of the weight. 3 part of the weight meaning basically 3 by 9 into 18, which is 6. So my C hat would still be, C hat would be value from here, first node which is already taken, 10. Second node for the weight 4 is 10. Third node for weight 16 is 12. 10 plus 12 and partial weight of 6, which still give me minus 38. So for node 2, if you look at, for node 2, this contributes and value becomes 38, and upper, because upper, when I include the last node, if I include the last node, it exceeds, so I don't use this value, and so upper ux remains minus 32. This is what I get and what we'll put. So if you notice, as long as we keep exploring the left side, that means keep including left side, anytime we explore the left side, this value will remain the same, this will not change. This value may change when we go on to the explore the right side. So this is x1. Now let's look at exploring node 3. And now we see my u is minus 32, my upper is minus 32, so upper remains same, nothing changes. Let's explore node 3. Node 3 meaning we don't include this node. When I don't include this node, what is that? How do I compute my C hat x? So first weight is 4. Second weight is 6. Already I got a weight of 10. So if I include 9, weight becomes 19. But I have a capacity of 15. That means I can include only 5 more weight to make it 50. That means the partial value I need to take would be 5 by 9 into 18, which is 10. So that means value when I C hat x for 3 would be 10 plus 12, 10 for this, 12 for this, and partial of this, which is 10, I'll get 10 here, which is 10 here. This my C hat x would be, and that's what I'm actually, to see calculations, you get minus 32. What is about the ux? Ux becomes minus 22, but look, this u is not less than this. Since this u is not less than this, so maintain the upper, and this C hat is minus 32, which is still greater than this upper, greater than the upper, so nothing changes. So we maintain this a live node. We know this is the upper bound we can get, this is the estimated cost, and we'll keep exploring but keep at the live node. But look at the lowest. This is my 38, This is my minus 32. So which is the least cost? Least cost happens to be minus 38. So we'll explore 2 and we'll keep this in the list of live nodes. And that is what we'll basically do. Upper doesn't change. So not we do now, I have 2 live nodes, 2 and 3. In both the cases, my estimated cost, this is minus 38, this is minus 32. Both of them are less than equal to this. So both will remain live node, and I pick up with the least cost with node 2, which is minus 38. So we explore node 2 with minus 38. Explore meaning take the next node. So node 2 we explore. That means I'll get 1 children here, and this means x2 is equal to 1 or x2 is equal to 0. x2 is equal to 1 means include the next item. As we said, as long as we explore on the left side, this value would remain the same because this is what we already done computed. So when you explore further, when x2 is equal to 1, you get the node 4, x2 is equal to, you exclude this item, it become node 5, and we need to compute. So for node 4, if you look at, this CH will remain the same, does not change. We include this, computation remain the same, and same is my ux will remain minus 32. But for node 5, what happens? Let's look at node 5. Does it change? Can you work out and tell me for node 5, what would be my, for node 5, what would be my C hat x would be, and what would be my ux would be? For node 5, where I am including item 1 but excluding item 2. Can you compute C hat x and ux and give me the answers? Spend 2 minutes so that I understand that you understood the problem. Look at the values, compute C hat x and ux for node 5. Any answers? Anyone like to try? Avinash, Dhananjay, Dhruv, anyone? Look what we have done, we already said we will include first item, that means weight 2. We are excluding this item, so we are not including that weight. And then we have to include, my maximum capacity is 15, so I include 6. This gives me weight of 8. I'm left with weight of 7. So I need to take 7 out of 9 weight. Now can you compute accordingly what the capacity would be? These are the weights I told you. So first item we get the full value, second item we exclude, third item we take the full value, and fourth item we take equivalent to 7 of this. And would like to answer? Faria or Pavitra? Maybe it will be tough, so let me again look. Because I'm including this weight, because of this reason, we are excluding this weight, because so we are not including this weight. And then next weight to include is 6, because we have to explore. So we include this. That means 10 comes from here. This 12 comes from here. And when I already included 2 plus 6, I already have a weight of 8. My capacity left is 7. So I take 7 weight out of the 9. So the value I'll get is 7 by 9 into 18, which is 14. So if you add 10 plus 12 plus 14 is 36. And since everything is minus, you get minus 36. So my C at X for node 5 is minus 36. Similarly, UX for this node 5 is in UX, we do not take this into the account. So value only becomes 10 plus 0 plus 12, and this we don't take, this remains 0, so which is minus 22. And that is what we get for the node 5. So if you look at my UX is this minus 22, and now look, my C at X is minus 36, which is still less than minus 32. So this means this remains a live node. My UX is minus 22. So this upper minus 32 is less than U, so upper does not change. So upper remains the same, does not change. Now my live nodes are node 5, so node 4, node 5, and node 3. And look at their respective. So my nodes are 3, 4, and 5. All of them having this C at is minus 32, this is minus 36, this is minus 38. All three of them are less than this upper. So all of them remains live node. By using least cost, I need to find the minimum. Minimum is minus 38. So we'll explore node 5 now. If it was a FIFO, we would have gone 3 and like this. But now we explore this and see how does it work. Because this is minus 38, we explore that and continue from here. So when we explore this, again we would have x3 is equal to 1 or x3 is equal to 0 and compute the same way. So look at, I say x3 is equal to 1 or x3 is equal to 0. It's that as long as we keep going the left side, this value remains the same because this reflect including in the same order. For node 6, value would remain the same. C hat as minus 38 and U is minus 32. Now can you compute, tell me for node 7, given this, what would the value would be C hat and what would the value for U for node 7? Anyone like to explore? Give me those. Remember, x3 is not included, so this is included, and this is excluded. So my weight is 2 plus 4 plus 0. This gives me capacity of 6. Remaining is 9. 9 comes in, so I take in full. And that means my value would become 10 from here plus 10 from here plus this I'm not including. So this becomes 0 plus 9 out of 9 becomes 18. And this value becomes minus 38. And what does my U become? If we look at, U also becomes minus 38. Now see what has happened. This is minus 38 and this is minus 32. So now my this U is less than upper. Because this is less than upper, we will change upper to this value. So we set upper to this value because upper value has changed. Because if I follow this path, I go lower court bound is minus 38, so I'll change my upper because tree wise I got updated, so I change this value and so I set my upper to minus 38 and the new value. Now I look at what are my live nodes. If you look at my live nodes, still node 3, node 5, node 6 and node 7. This is my nodes are. So my live nodes are 3, 5, 6 and 7. And we always said that our C hat, estimated hat, should be less than upper. If it is more, we know we already got a lower limit and there we will get this limit, so there's no point exploring. So look at node 3. Node 3, C hat is minus 32, my upper is minus 38. So for node 3, C hat is greater than upper, which is what we don't want. So we basically kill this node. Similarly for this node, minus 36 is greater than minus 38, which is my upper value. So we also kill this node. So what we are left with only node 6 and node 7 to explore. Now both of them are minus 38. So let's explore what we can basically do. So we kill this node because that means by using this path node 3, I'll reach a minus 32. Using this, I'll reach a minus 36, but I already got a upper limit of minus 38. So those are not going to give minimum cost and I can kill them. Now both 6 and 7 can give me minus 38. So let me see how do I explore further. I can take either one of those and then you proceed from there. So we basically kill both of these nodes and explore 6 and 7. When I explore 6 and 7, let's explore with 6 and again we'll follow x4 is equal to 1 and x4 is equal to 0. Thus we explore and I'll get node 8 and 9. So node 6 I explore, x4 barabar 1, x4 is equal to 1. And now see if that means all the nodes are included. When I include all of them, my weight becomes 21. My capacity is exceed. That means I cannot even go to that item. I can't explore this. And now if I explore on the x4 is equal to 0, when I exclude this x4 is equal to 0, my C hat, because x4 becomes 0, I'm not considering this, my C hat would be 10 plus 12, which is minus 32. And this C hat is more than minus 38. That means this is not the right path. So we kill that either. So that means both exploring on the left, exploring on the right, exploring on the left exceeds my weight, exploring on the right becomes more than my upper, so no more lower cost. So I don't consider both. Both are not live node, and that means 6 cannot be explored. I can actually kill node 6 itself. And then I explore node 7. If I explore node 7, look at what happens. We always said when we explore left side, we always get the same value. So if we explore, you would basically get C hat is minus 38 and U hat is minus 38. This is what we get here. And if you go on the right side, x4 is 0, that means I'm excluding this and I'm excluding this. If I'm excluding this, my C hat would be minus 20 and V would be minus 20. So for this node, because minus 20 is more than the upper, so I'll discard this either. So explore node 7. Further, we basically get node 8. Node 8 we get minus 38. Minus 38 upper doesn't change. And node 9 we get is minus 20 because we both are excluding, and U hat is minus 20, and this minus 20 is more than the upper being negative, so we discard that. So we are left with only, and we already reached the leaf. So that means we found my least cost solution, and my least cost path is, that means include item 1, include item 1, include item 2, don't include item 3, and include item 4, and that is what we basically get. So we killed everything and we reached the leaf node. My leaf node is node 8, and this my path is, so my answer node is 8, knapsack value is 38, because my minimization is minus 38, so maximize is 38. So using these items, this, and this, I'll get a maximum value of 38. This is how I solve the knapsack problem. That's what basically what we do, and my tuple becomes include item 1, include item 2, exclude item 3, and include item 4. This essentially what you're saying is the knapsack problem. So I would recommend you to go through this, repeat it, and then we look at how do you implement the bound, how do you compute C hat and U hat. Remember we said when you compute C hat, we take the partial weight of this item, and for u, we don't take partial weight of this. So if I need to compute this, essentially from this node, go here till the root. So from here, go till the root and look at all the values which are included, and that is what my C hat is and U hat is. So wherever level I am, from each level, start including. So essentially we implement two functions. One is called bound, another is called U bound. Bound I'll use to compute C hat, and U bound I'll use to compute U. In this, I'll include the partial weight. Here, I don't include the partial weight. So we'll look at the plain simple algorithm. Basically, I'm saying I include the partial weight there, and there I exclude the partial weight. That's the only thing we do. So bound function is we say what is the current value, the current floating weight of the item, and which level of the node I am, because I need to proceed from this to the parents, all the nodes, level 1, level 2, look at all the nodes from there. That's essentially what we are saying. So all we are saying is compute from the current level. So take the current value, take the current weight for each of this item 1 to n, look at if this is less than this, then add it. If exceeds the weight, take the partial weight, and add it and return that value. This is what we have done in computing. When you do the U bound, we don't include the partial weight. That's the only difference between bound and U bound. So we just do that and we don't include the partial weight. That's essentially what we do. So we had discussed what is called LCBB, least cost branch and bound. We said we need to estimate C at X, we compute UX X, and keep a upper bound.
26 కి ఏమైనా పోస్ట్ పోన్ అయిపోతాయని ఎవరు రాకపోతాయని వాళ్ళు ఆన్లైన్ తో ఇంకొక క్వశ్చన్
Can somebody please be silent?
11 అని చెప్తే సార్ ఓకే
So essentially we did least cost branch and bound for knapsack problem, and tomorrow's lecture we will basically do FIFO branch and bound, and then after that only one topic is left, P and NP, which probably will do after your IAT. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask by, or else you can drop. Let me know if any questions, otherwise we're done for today. If any questions, ask me, and we'll drop it.